Hey, what's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is when you're watching this video. It's day 20, and today we're gonna talk about a convenient, no excuses, no holds barred, nutrient dense, calorie controlled way to get convenient nutrition. I often hear, oh, I don't have the time to meal prep. I don't have the time to go shopping. That's just excuses, and you got a case of the its. It doesn't work for me. Yes, it does if you work for you. Like we said, invest the time invests in you. So this is one of my go-tos, what I call the whole food smoothie. And why I call it that, it differentiates it from a typical smoothie because we're actually going to put in some real whole food. If you remember when we talked about nutrition and we talked about week 1 and overview, and if you read my 10 nutritional commandments and the magic pill, you understand the first nutritional commandment. It is eat whole foods. So this is kind of a compromise to take whole foods on the road in a quick, convenient, calorie-controlled way. What I love about smoothies is that you really can make it your own. You can make it all kinds of different ways. I'm going to show you my personal favorite today, but again, you can make this your own. You learned how to count your nutrition facts and calories and all that this week in Impact Week, right? So, assuming you're all good with that, you can make this smoothie however you want. However many calories, protein, macros, fats, carbs, omega-3s like we're going to do today. So, let's get the show on the road. Whole food smoothies, again, are a quick and convenient way. 2 things on that. You can prep it ahead of time like I do. I leave early in the morning on most days and don't necessarily want to have the blender rolling at 5:30 in the morning. So I'll make this the night before, put it in my travel cup and throw it, well, not throw it, but put it in the refrigerator. So that is how you can do it, and just make sure you don't forget it in the morning. Hopefully you have a good solid morning routine. I tell some of my clients that forget it just to put their keys in there with it so they don't forget to grab it on the way out. So taking ownership, right? We learned that in week 1 too. All right, so I'm going to put these ingredients in the order that I've learned over 20 years that makes the cleanup and the blending work the best. So this version of the whole food smoothie is my favorite, like I said, and I did conveniently pre-measure this stuff out just for the sake of the video, but normally I would just do this in sequence, grabbing stuff out of the fridge or the freezer. So first ingredient, I have a cup of blueberries, and we know blueberries are a low sugar, high polyphenol, high antioxidant berry fruit. So if you are on a keto day or an intermittent fasting day, berries will be a no-go. But if you're on your other 5, if you're doing the 5 and 2, berries would be good. I don't know why I'm putting the top on. We got lots more things to go. The next thing I will put in is my unsweetened, notice the calories, know your nutrition facts. There are a lot of sweetened versions out there with 180, 120 calories of cane sugar or something else. Make sure you're getting unsweetened almond milk. And I don't endorse any particular brand, but putting in 4 ounces of that, you can do as many as 8. I like to do 4 ounces of almond milk and the rest of my liquids water. Another option that is really cool, you can find walnuts. I'm actually putting in walnuts into mine, actual whole food walnuts right there. You can see that. So I'm not going to use walnut milk, but this is one way to get more omega-3s. And remember, if I haven't talked about it already, omega-3s, walnuts have a higher concentration of omega-3s. So that's why I like to use walnuts, fat with omega-3s, some fiber, and a little bit of protein. So I'm going to put the walnuts in. Got about 1 ounce of walnuts. And here's the cool part. The green machine, which we're going to talk about later in the week and also next week in the Nutrient Matters week, here's a quick and easy way to get more greens in your diet. Actually, I have a couple clients that don't like to eat vegetables. So I did get them to do this because you don't even know it's in there. You can't taste it. So I like to put in as much spinach as I can fit in the blender, but I'm going to do 2 handfuls today. And so that's about 2 cups of spinach. Lots of good fiber, phytonutrients, whole foods. I'm using an organic baby spinach, which I would recommend organic and pre-washed for your convenience. You can go to your farmer's market and get spinach and wash it yourself, have it prepped. That works just as well. Then we put in our blueberries, and now we're putting in our protein. In this case, I'm using a vanilla whey isolate. If you want to get really down the rabbit hole, you can get a grass-fed whey protein, which they're more common now. And I'm using this brand, but by the time you watch this video, we may have our own brand out, TrYumph Nutrition, we're launching very soon. And we're actually using a New Zealand grass-fed whey protein in our whey protein powder. The other thing is you can use a plant-based protein like this brand or the multitude of others. I would choose one that is pea, artichoke, hemp-based. I would stay away from soy-based, plant-based proteins. Personally, I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket, so I use a combination of whey and plant. In this case, I'm using whey, but on some mornings, I may do a scoop of whey, a scoop of plant. Some mornings, I may do just plant protein. So again, it's your oyster, baby, so you can do whatever you want. Make this your own. But I'm going to put in 2 scoops, which is 40 grams for me, of whey protein. So if you remember from your macros how much protein you're supposed to be taking in, you would adjust accordingly. If it's 20 grams per meal, or if you're doing 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day, adjust it accordingly. Put in your 20, 30, 40 grams, whatever the case may be. And then finally, I'm going to put in my crushed ice or ice cubes. If you have a strong enough blender, you can use straight up ice. And before I blend this is also a great opportunity to think about next week when we talk about nutrients. But what's really cool about the whole food smoothie is that you can sneak in other ingredients. Like this is a product that's a polyphenol blend of powders from Whole Foods, again, that I could sneak a scoop in there and get a lot of polyphenol boosting. If you're dealing with inflammation or healing, when I had my injury last year, I lived on this stuff, MSM powder, which is a good high anti-inflammatory way to help your healing process. But that's just 2 examples. Whatever you want, you can throw those in. Creatine is another one, which we'll talk about in our nutrient supplement week. But anyway, this is a vehicle to do with whatever you need to. You may have to experiment with some of the flavors and stuff like that. But I'm going to add a little bit of water, liquid, and depending on, again, you experiment, but I put in about 3 ounces because I have the ice. And there's obviously some liquid in the spinach, and there's obviously some liquid in the blueberries. So we're going to fire this up. It's going to get loud. I'm probably not going to blend it for the whole way because you're just going to be sitting there watching me blend it. But we'll turn this on, hit it with some blend. You can see the spinach and the blueberries are all incorporating. So depending on the power and speed of your blender, it could take anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes to blend all that up so it's incorporated. So you can see even just that 15 to 20 seconds, everything's pretty much blended. Can't even see the spinach. So if you have a spouse and they don't like to eat greens, you can sneak them in and they won't even know the difference, especially if you pour it into a nice dark travel cup. They'll be like, oh, baby, this is the best drink ever. And be like, yeah, you got your greens in too. So that is the whole food smoothie. And again, for me, with the 40 grams of protein, the blueberries, the walnuts, that's about 350 calories. So that's a perfect size, convenient meal for me. And again, I could have tailored that. Less walnuts, made it less fat. I could skip the blueberries on a fasting day and make this my first meal number 2 if you're doing the keto coffee. So lots of options with the whole food smoothie. You can make it chocolate, you can make it vanilla, you can make it berries. So lots of options. I encourage you to experiment, but just make sure you know your nutrition facts, know what you're putting in there so that you can stay on track. So Impact Week, looking forward to seeing you on the next video. And hopefully all this information is helpful. Let's get nutrient dense and calorie controlled and keep that transformation fire burning, baby. So we'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great day and make it amazing.